Hi, I'm on probably a couple minutes early. Um, if you've, so I might just like hang out here and paint for a little bit, just in case somebody is scheduled to come on at with me. Anyway, my name is Dawn Rossbach, and I've been doing some videos here related to art and aphantasia. I'm an artist that has aphantasia, which is the inability to conjure up images mentally. And so this is all related to with a grant. You may have seen some stuff on an intro video. If not, I talk about that in pretty detailed length on the first video. So today, though, I am continuing to work on this piece along with another one. Um, and what this is one of my apparitions. And so basically, what I'm doing is kind of reacting to whatever kind of appears on the canvas. And usually I start out with just a kind of a pencil and put down some lines and then kind of go from there. But before I get too far in on this, I thought it would be fun to show you my scissors painting over on my Facebook page, which is just my name. With if you put in Don Rossbach and art, you'll pop up with it pretty quick. But anyway, this is my pair of scissors, and so I'm doing some tool paintings, and I'm taking suggestions for tools over there. And so this one in particular is some scissors based on a little pair of Guggenheim scissors. I think I'll remove this for just a second because it'll be a little clearer, to, not so distracting. And oops, a little bit of extra light there. Um, and so it's a little pair of scissors I actually bought, through an advertisement on Facebook, believe it or not, but they're the nicest little scissors. And so I already, when I pulled them out of the drawer, the cover of this was not on um, uh, the the box. And anyway, so I've already had a little bit of a peek, not in front of the painting, but I immediately went, "Oh my gosh, I'm really off." And so, what why I'm doing the tools is because I don't have any mental images to reference. I'm pulling references somewhere from my brain that is knows the basic components of this and what I remember verbally about the scissors, and they're a smaller set. You can kind of see it's a pretty small box here. And um, I know that they have black handles here. This could be a little bit better. I don't know. I don't think I'll go much into this, but when you see these scissors, you'll go, "Oh yeah, totally off." So, all right, here we go. So here's my scissors. Little, and they're just. I love the way they snip. Let's see if I can hear this. Anyway, just a sound I like. But anyway, so obviously I did not get in this portion of the handle, and they have this extra little bump here, which I didn't get, and there's obviously a big space here. I have just a tiny little space in between there. And I think I was on the right track with this shape here. Let's see if you can see that right here where it's kind of angled off there. But I have it backwards where I have mine going this direction and overlapping. And even if you reverse it, it's not that way. So I I mean, I suppose if this piece were on the bottom side, it could work. There's more of I do have sort of the rivet correct. Let's see if I can get this closer at all. That light is pretty bad. But there is a little bit of a bump up here on a rivet. I didn't get that in on mine. Let me see if I can shut that light and see if it'll help in the shade. So that was off. The space in between was off. I have the general shape. Oh, I'm going to go back and see if you can see this better now. A little bit there. You can kind of see how there's a little knob that sticks up, you know. And on the back side, it's an actual like nut on there. Again, a little bit too much light going there. But yeah, you can kind of see it there. It's a little out of focus, but and then I knew I was trying to get this part of the blade in where it angles and bevels down, which I was trying to do there, but it's completely off. And I have the two blades sort of meeting each other when in actuality, these actually completely overlap. So that's that, and the angles of where these rubber handles go on there. And oh, I guess this is kind of a black. Let's see if I can get this thing. A black polished metal. And I just have mine kind of as a gray. You know, I was thinking that they were gold, but maybe I was thinking of this. But so anyway, I was off by a lot. And so what I may do is, like I said, I don't know if I want to, I think it would be really challenging to I was thinking about like tracing over the painting, like with a very thin white line of like what the actual scissors looks like, and the same with the hammer that I've already done. I may get prints made of these and then draw over the prints, you know, so we'll figure it out, but haven't done that. I don't think I'll paint too much today live. This process is pretty slow because, you know, I've got kind of a lot of things blocked in here. But this is where I want it to be much more complex than what it is. And just to give that a lot of visual interest. And even though there's some here, I just don't feel like it's quite complete yet. I feel like some of this is working, you know, especially now that I see it in the video. It's always a really interesting thing that happens is, you know, you get this kind of, if you take a photo of your artwork, you know, and then go in, I don't even know why I put that on there. It's not even what I want. If you take a photo of your artwork or see it, you know, through the eye of the camera, it gives a really different perspective. And sometimes I can immediately see something I want to change, or maybe something that needs to be fixed. The old trick with this was to hold it up in a mirror to see it backwards, and then you could see what was out of order as far as maybe proportions or composition wise. While I'm here though, right before I got on, I went over to the website Aphantasia .com, and I think it's just under articles, and there was two articles that really caught my attention. One is Creating with Conceptual Thinking, The Art of Not Seeing. Real quick, short little article that addressed how she's an artist with aphantasia, and she just kind of said, you know, I just use this different set of tools, you know, instead of using, you know, mental imagery, and you don't need those visual visualizations or the mental visualizations to create, which, we've said all along, she uses her intuition, she uses some conceptual thinking, abstract ideas, and then her tangible materials. She's a collage artist. I don't know if that's the only thing she does, but very much her process was, reacting, and she's got kind of a verbal dialogue going, along the whole time, where, those, that verbal dialogue is, helping her create, and so ideas pop into her head because of that. For me, it's always conversations. And, if I'm listening to some people or talking with somebody, all of a sudden, we'll have a conversation going, and I'll just go, "Oh, that's a great idea for an artwork," and I mean, it's just, and if I don't write it down, it's, a fleeting moment. Sometimes they stick if it's, really pertinent to the whatever I'm working on. Anyway, um, so that being said, then the other article was referenced in this one, and this one was called Visualization and Why We Don't Need to Make Visual Art, or why we don't need it to make visual art. And that one there, I swear I could write it myself, as if I wrote it, because there were so many things that I used in my teaching, so many things that were just, bounced back. And I think there was one particular one thing that really struck. Oh, I remember. There's a really good kind of animated thing where she talks about, using triangles and geometry to help her draw, which, for her references. And she does talk about that, where I'm thinking it's a she, I don't know for sure. Elena Serta is her name, who wrote the article, where they use a lot of photo references or real references. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, with my tools that I'm trying to, because I know what a scissors looks like, I can, if I see a pair of scissors, I can identify it. So there's that verbal, connection there. But what I'm trying to do is like, how am I processing that, to put it down on canvas or paper? So anyway, those are some excellent articles. If you are an artist, or you just know somebody who is an artist and also has aphantasia, if you're an art teacher who doesn't have aphantasia, but you kind of wanted to maybe, maybe you're a little bit more interested in that, that whole concept. There's some really excellent things in that article that they reference to help, people create. And so that's where it was like, I felt pretty good then, because I was like, I didn't find out I had aphantasia until close to the end of my teaching career. And then COVID came. So I never applied any of the knowledge that I have now gained about aphantasia as far as teaching my students. So that I felt at least a little bit validated in that I wasn't steering somebody who might also have it, a student, because I have no idea if any of my students did have aphantasia. It's possible. And so, like I said, that validation in that article was there. And I think if you go read that article, and you have, whether you're a teacher or not, I think it's a good article to read if you're just interested in this. All right, so this is where This is where the visualization would be kind of nice. Because if I could like see this and go, oh yes, this color will be perfect here, without having to put it on. I have a lot of rags. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, I should have a painting uniform because I tend to ruin a lot of clothes and they eventually become rags. And I do go through a lot of them. One of the things, probably this is just a design principle when you're creating something. The one I like to use a lot is just creating unity, which means just taking one of the art elements like color, shape, line, or texture, and incorporating them in just one little in other areas of the painting. It will help create movement. It'll help, which means, getting the eye to go over into another spot. So if I want, I've got this color a little bit here, which is kind of at the butt end of this, my little graffiti mousse. And, this color being replicated here, they look a little bit different because the light is hitting it, but it is the same color here. So then it's being kind of drawn right through the moose's head up into this area. And this area here, needs some really intense work where this is getting a little bit more visually interesting. This is kind of dropping off, so, and this is, I'm liking what's happening here. So I'm trying to avoid touching that, but this color would be really nice to put just, maybe a smidgen up in here so that it kind of maybe moves like this. Generally speaking, that's all right. I have a couple little pieces of gold leaf in here too that okay. I might put more into it. I might just paint right over it. I don't know. But like I said, this becomes the more challenging part for me is, how far do I go? I have a little bit of like, it's actually a photography term, and my friend Laura taught me about it. They're like light leaks. So there's like, if a camera has a leak where light can get into it, they kind of make these little weird little things. That's kind of what I'm referring, that's, so I have a little bit here. It's almost like it's glowing. So I kind of created that same thing over on the back edge there. I might go in with just a tiny line, a little bit brighter teal there. Let's see if I can make that. I shouldn't say brighter. the lime green going in here. Oh, the way that's looking. On my canvas, it looks mint green, but it's actually the light coming through the window. But so I'm going to throw some mint green on it. Which I used a Viridian green and a titanium white to make it. All right, I'm going to make this a shorter video today. Mostly I just wanted to show people the scissors. I thought that was so funny. I ordered a new camera. So I'm hoping when I get that, it is much clearer and it's supposed to be able to focus kind of with movement. And for a cheap little webcam that I'm using currently, it's actually not bad. But I sure have had my issues with it. Oh, I really like this. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can bring it down. No, I have too many things in the way. Shoot. If I take my camera off, maybe. Probably never get it lined up again. You can't. The reflection is too much. I have a little can that I use for when I'm not rinsing my brushes. I'm using a oil dip kind of. It's made out of, well, I suppose there's about a cup of safflower oil with a few drops of clove oil in it. And don't ask me why there's clove oil in it. I just found that from another artist online. In their process of painting, they rarely wash their brushes. They just kind of use this oil dip. So I thought I would try it. And Oh, that didn't come out very good. Anyway, so you kind of dip and scrub your brush around. There's kind of a little screen that's set in there. And so then I rinse my brush in that, and then I wipe all the excess paint off of it. So I'm able to switch colors without, getting, maybe that's a little too white. Or maybe that's okay. Without mixing the colors, even though I blend right on the canvas too. Sometimes I don't, if I've just used a red, I don't want the red contaminating into like this light periwinkle, so to speak. Well, that doesn't work that way. I don't like this. I like that less. All right. Until next time, which will probably be later this week, I'll see you later.